Good morning, Centers for Spiritual Living Beaumont. My name is Steve Adams. I'm one of the practitioners here, and I'm very glad that you've joined me for this meditation this morning. So take a deep breath in, sit down, relax, put your feet on the floor, and feel the chair really supporting you. What I will read a meditation from Ernest Holmes, and meditation following. Take another deep breath in and breathe out. Love dissolves all fear. Greater than fear is love. Love dissolves all fear, casts out all doubt, and sets the captive free. Love, like the river of life, flows through me and refreshes me with its eternal blessings. Love cannot be afraid. It is fearless and strong, and is mighty in its works. It can accomplish all things through the inner light of that faith in the all-good, which fills my very being with a powerful presence. Love casts out all fear. Take another deep breath in and breathe out. If you're comfortable, you may close your eyes. As love enters, fear vanishes. I am so filled with love that no fear can enter my thought. I am not afraid, for I know that a perfect intelligence guards and governs my every act. Perfect love casts out all fear. I am unafraid and strong in my faith, in that inner presence that keeps me from all harm. Perfect love casts out all fear. The love of the all-good is within me and through me. That love goes out to meet all who come into my atmosphere. It radiates to all and is flowing through all. My love within me is perfect. The love within me is perfect. The love within me is perfect. The love in me is perfect. The love in me is perfect. Take a deep breath in. Breathe out. I invite you to come back to this holy space in the sanctuary. And I thank you for having joined me for this meditation this morning. The service will begin at 10 o'clock. I hope you will stay and enjoy the service with us today as well. Thank you very much.
With the King, let it shine unbounded. Out of the mouth comes the water, out of the earth came a daughter. All I hear is to forgive. Of Creator, I call out my heart, David. Lead us into patience. They drew the mist on the ceiling, let it rain down for a healing. I know this is ancient. Well, I love you and I mean it. Hey, little child, can you feel it? Let it come full circle. Giving up on separation, now it's time that we face it. All I hear is to forgive.
Everything that has ever happened. Life is everything we can imagine, laid out in patterns of pain and passion. You cannot control it, so keep your compassion. There are no accidents. There are no factions. There is no us and them. Nothing to borrow or lend, no enemy or friend, and only forgiveness can make that happen. The only battle worth the fight. From the Rwandan genocide to the Seven Sisters, forgiving Orion for how he chases them across the skies every night. Forgiveness is forgiving, so give yourself this gift from time to time. And that all of your mistakes come all of your greatest gifts in disguise.
so beautiful, you are complete. You are the beggar you meet on the streets. You are divine and you are inclined to be. And I pray to God that you will be free, yeah. 'Cause I want you to run, feel the grass on your feet. And I want you to share with all that you need. 'Cause we are one race, we are one family. When you find your soul, there's no room for greed, yeah. So come, mothers, come, fathers. And come, sister, come, brothers. So come the whole world, see what you learn now. 'Cause all I wanna say is namaste to you. So let this light shine down upon you all. 'Cause I know now where I'm going, and I take you all I know. And I'm smiling in my eyes, and I see praises in my soul. Come the rivers and your mountains, we are one and one for all. Yes, I know, no. That we are one. Yes, we are one. Well, nothing can happen without Brahman's doing. So we should find out what we're pursuing. Do you want money and fame or a piece of the game now? Or are you ready to see and go beyond your beliefs? This is a time of hurt and a time of war. But nobody knows what it's all for. Can't you see money is blind? You're not in the disguise now.
Morning, everyone. I wanted to come up and introduce myself. My name is Bill Sodi. I'm president of the Board of Trustees, and very thankfully being able to be involved with the Board of Trustees. And again, wanted to welcome to you to our celebration this morning and for a wonderful lunch afterwards. Also wanted to introduce you to a new program we're starting today, and that is silence your phone and your electronic device. The real fun part about this program is that if your phone goes off, you get to contribute a $20 bill to our love offering. So I'm sure you're all going to want to participate in either that or silencing your phone. So again, good morning. Welcome to our celebration, and look forward to seeing you after the service at lunch. Bye-bye.
Okay, and so we want to welcome everyone online and in person to being here today. And I'm getting a signal from the tech booth that it works better when I have my headset on. So here we go. There we go. Green light. And so again, welcome online viewers. We're really glad you're here. And if you want to type into the chat where you're watching from, we'd love to acknowledge you. We'd love to see that you're online. And our online viewership is growing. We're very pleased about that. And we hope someday we can entice you with a lunch or a workshop, which we're doing today, to come to the center in person. And let's read, if it's your first time here, we want to say welcome. And we have a guest book we invite you to sign, and we have a book for you if it's your first-time visitor. We have How to Speak Science of Mind for you. It's a real simple primer on our teaching. We teach a class from it the first and third Sunday, 9 to 9:30. We just had our discussion. But if you're a first-time visitor and you sign our guest book, we will give you a free copy of this book. So see me afterwards out in our friendship foyer, and we'll get you a book and get you signed in. So right now, let's go to our vision statement. And we'll read this together. And if you're online and at home, we invite you to read it at home. So here's our vision statement. And we'll say this together. CSLB is an inclusive and transformative community of spiritual practice. And we would like to have everyone just turn to someone nearby and just say, good morning, how are you? See, we're getting some hugs and some handshakes in, and Mr. Rogers, says if we just said one kind word to someone every day, went out of our way and said one kind word to someone every day, it would change all the energy of the world. So that's why we do that. And now we're going to go with our opening song. And George Melton.
Okay, Michael asked me to play this song for a congregational song. I don't know if you know the words to this, but the chorus is really easy. So if you don't know the verse, you can always join in the chorus. So we're going to sing Amazing.
Amazing,
Thanks for helping me, Michael.
And so one of the amazing things that we do at CSLB is happy birthday. And so we're going to sing happy birthday. If you have a February birthday, if it is your birthday month, we invite you to raise your hand. So hey, oh my gosh, we've got some birthdays going on. So we'll be singing this song to you, and George will be playing for us. So we're ready for our happy birthday song, and here we go. And so we have Volunteer of the Month, and Volunteer of the Month this month is Rowena Kay. And Rowena Kay is always helping in the kitchen and always helping here and always showing up. And so we really wanted to acknowledge her. And so she will get the parking space, the prime parking space out there this month. So Rowena, you're not here today, but we're grateful when you're here. We're grateful for all you do and the many ways that you show up at the center. And now we're going to do our Joel Goldsmith book discussion. And Yvonne shared with me, it's at her house at 4 o'clock on Thursdays. Reverend Neil has shared there's no homework in this class. It's a book discussion, so you get to show up at 4 o'clock on Yvonne's. And then let me see if this is working today. Okay. And so Good Grief Support Group every Thursday, 1 to 2:30, right here in the sanctuary. Good group. We discuss how to find the good in grief, and we almost always find our way to a smile. And I like to say of the word smile, science of mind is love expressing, and grief offers us the opportunity to open up to a greater love than we've ever known and to be a greater loving presence. So there's good in grief, and the good in grief as that we move from our breaking heart to our opening heart and to knowing a greater love than we've ever known. And so we invite you to celebrate a loved one. And our flower ministry right here, Rev Bev started our flower ministry. We have a flower calendar. You can sign up for a birthday or an anniversary or for no reason at all to provide and sponsor the flowers. And these flowers were provided by Ross and myself, and they will be auctioned off at lunch. So if you want to buy a raffle ticket, we'll have raffle tickets in there at lunch. And every first and third Sunday, and that was this Sunday, we have our Science of Mind discussion group, and it was a great discussion today about duality. How do we find our way from duality into unity? And it's a great half-hour discussion, so join us. And that's also the book you will get if you're a first-time guest, and meet me at the guest book, and we'll get you a book of how to speak science of mind. And then our Food for Fellowship. If you sign up to provide the main entree on a Sunday, we're always looking for someone to provide a main entree, and you can make that or you can purchase it. The center will provide you up to $50 in reimbursement if you provide a receipt. So you can buy it, you can make it from homemade goods, but it's our Food for Fellowship program. Please sign up to bring an entree one Sunday of the month, and you will be reimbursed for that. And now we have... Gosh, that guy looks awful familiar, the photo there.
The goatee went white.
There you go. So George Melton is providing a seminar after lunch today. It'll be from noon to about 1:15, 1:30. George has worked with Louise Hay and Oprah, and he's been with people like this. His book is about healing, and for me, Science of Mind is about healing. And we talk about, and Ernest Holmes shares, that healing is revealing. So if you're looking for the process of moving from revealing to healing, George has done that process. It's been part of his life for 30 or 40 years. He will share his journey, and hopefully that will get you on your journey, on your way to revealing the healing in your life. And that's our teaching. And we have coming up yoga themed, and I think I've got a little announcement on it, maybe, let's see. But chair yoga coming up the second Wednesday of this month. I did not bring that up with me. But chair yoga coming up the second Wednesday of this month. There will be a spaghetti dinner. Here we go. It's a self-themed chair yoga practice, and it's about self-love. It'll be facilitated by Kristen Grammer, and it's called One Life, Mind, and Body. And she shares awaken, release, and embrace a gentle, self-loving journey within yourself. It's going to be a 45-minute chair yoga practice designed to nurture self-love, awaken the senses, and explore what it means to live well in the present moment. So we have that going up Wednesday, February 12th, 5 p.m. to 6, spaghetti dinner, then chair yoga for 45 minutes. So something new we're exploring. So come explore and partake of that adventure with us. And Emmy is sponsoring and putting together a spiritual tea party. It's going to be led by Darlene Marie Fall at CSL here on Wednesday, February 19th at 11 a.m. The doors will open 11:30, a presentation and meditation, and at noon, finger foods, and at 1 p.m., meet the author and the book signing. So you'll be meeting Darlene Marie Fall on her spiritual tea party and practices, and so we look forward to seeing you at that event. We have Beyond Limits starting this Tuesday, 3:30 to 5:30. So we have some pretty good sign-ups. If you have not signed up yet, come Tuesday, 3:30 to 5:30. It's a foundation class. It's a basic class. We're going to be talking about prayer work. We're going to be talking about setting intentions. We're going to be talking about how to change your thinking and change your life. And one of the ways we change our thinking that changes our life is by keeping our thinking changed. We don't just change it, we keep it changed. And we have our annual meeting. Save the date, February 23rd, part of membership at the center, and we've had quite a few new people sign up for membership recently, is coming to the membership service. So we also have Metaphysical Movie Night. Let's see, can I go back to that with this? Can I go forward to it? Okay, we have our membership luncheon, which will be honoring our new members and invite people who are thinking about signing up to come and have a lunch. Membership luncheon March 8th, Metaphysical Movie Night returns, spaghetti dinner 5 to 6, and discussion March 12th. Movie is 6 to 8, and the movie this month is on Golden Pond. We'll be looking at issues of aging and how metaphysics looks at the issues of aging. And then we have Compassionate Care I'm not quite sure when is the date of the Compassionate Care meeting. It's Saturday. Saturday the 22nd for Compassionate Care meeting. If you're interested in joining the Compassionate Care team, we do have flyers on our back information table, so that's what's going back there. We have fellowship lunch. We're inviting you to bring a friend next Sunday. If you bring a friend, the person who brings a new friend to this center will receive a $35 gift card to take your friends to lunch, to take them to a movie, or stay here and have the free lunch, and then take yourself to a really nice dinner and movie. So Friendship Sunday, next Sunday, bring a friend. If you bring one, you might get the card. If somebody brings two, they get the card. If somebody brings 3 new people, they get the card. So invite us in having some fun with Friendship Sunday. And that's where we are.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am Tommy Jones, one of the licensed practitioners here at the Centers for Living in Beaumont. The other practitioners and I will be available after service for a moment of prayer on this side of the sanctuary. Please do not leave here this morning with anything on your heart. We would love to pray with you because we absolutely know that prayer works. So at this time, please, let's close our eyes and let the meditative song that George is playing for us take us to our center.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see when I lose myself and I feel all hope is gone, then I go inside and quiet my mind and hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me
Wow, what a perfect song. We did not coordinate this, but one of the things that Georgia said is remember who you are. So, roses are red, violets are blue. I love me. Do you love you? So our power talk today is about love, love lost, and finding love again. So when you're born into this experience, you're pure love. And it's very evident because when you see little kids, they're just jubilant and they're excited and they just emit love all over the place. They're the most amazing little creatures because that's all they are, is bundles of love and joy, and we see that in them. But somewhere over time, the experience of the outside world finds its way inside. The experiences of what's said in the media, what's said by the families, what's said by friends, it's internalized. And those bundles of joy and love become products of their experience and their environment. And when that isn't always love, then the expression of them changes over time. Perhaps you've heard the story of the little boy who's about 3-4 years old, and a brand new baby comes, and he is observed leaning down, speaking to the baby, saying, "Can you help me find God? Because I'm losing that connection." Getting further and further away from that love, because the love that's inside is now external. What we're told becomes our understanding of love. Who we are becomes an expression of who we are told we are, what we are. You are lovable if you wear this clothing. You are lovable if you go to this store, this place. If you have this thing, you have that. And love begins to be lost in this external idea of what love is. The good news is that Ernest Holmes says that nothing is ever lost. So, that love that's in you, that is being maybe hidden by whatever information has been internalized, the good news is it can be found. How do I know? Because recently I was having a conversation with somebody, and I was telling them about a regret that I had. Something that I had wanted to do and I hadn't done. And I wasn't aware that I was saying things that weren't really positive about me, that I had kind of bought into this external idea of what being lovable was about. And my friend said, "You know what? You need to stop that. You just need to realize you made a mistake and let it go." I wasn't even aware that I was saying things and doing things that wasn't expressing love to me. And if anyone's ever mentioned it, you can't really love someone else unless you can love yourself first. So it became, in my awareness, how simple it is to find love again. It's called forgiveness. So I want all of you to sit here in this moment with me and think of something that you deeply, deeply regret. Something that you didn't take care of, something you didn't do that is gnawing on you, that's in the back of your mind, and you're like, "Man, I wish I had, I should have, I could have, I would have." Think about that right now. And then just say, "I forgive you." We cannot go back, we cannot change it, but in this moment, we can forgive ourselves for any trespasses or any errors that we have made. In the moment that my friend made that comment to me, and I was like, "Yeah, duh, it's really that simple." there was an experience of freedom that I hadn't had before. One time I spoke to Reverend Robert, who has mentored Reverend Michael. I told him, my heart is broken. What he said to me is, no, your heart isn't broken. It's open for more love. So in this moment where I just asked you to think of something that you regret, to forgive yourself and let it go, if in fact you did that, you have just opened your heart for love. The most important love of all, and that is the love that is within, has been within, has never been lost. It just may have been, kind of underneath messages and experiences that we can say have not and no longer are serving you. So that being said, I started off by saying, roses are red, violets are blue, I love me, do you love you? If you can say yes, then you have found or continue to experience the love that's within. So ends the Power Talk. So now I invite you to close your eyes so that I can pray us in. Remember with me that there is only one Spirit, one source of all there is, and that source is the purest form of love. And each and every one of us are born in the image and likeness of Spirit. So each and every one of us is at our purest form and at our highest and best good, love. And so if in this moment we share in that awareness of love, then each and every one of us is contributing to a world that works for everyone. And if we allow ourselves to be centered in this love, then there is no better feeling or experience that we can ever truly have. I know for each and every one of us that we have the ability to move forward in our lives, that we have the ability to feel and express love abundantly. We have made no mistakes in the eyes of Spirit that prevent us from being unworthy, unlovable, and so we allow ourselves to fully embrace who we are, to remember who and whose we are. I love you. I encourage you to love you. And as we do that, this room gets to vibrate at the highest and best level possible. I am so, so grateful to be here today to share in the love and the expressions of love that each and every one of us are. I am so grateful for each being because of the contribution your essence makes to this world and to the value that is in my life as a result of you being here today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, God, as you. Thank you, God, as me. These words I speak, I know that they are anchored in truth, because right now we are revealing the truth of our being. So knowing this, I am confident as I release these words into law that this is meeting us where we are and touching us at a very, very deep level. And so I invite you to share with me in anchoring this truth by saying, and so it is. Amen, amen, ashe, ashe. So I'm delighted to introduce Reverend Dr. Michael Curcuru.
Thank you, Tommy, for being here. And I want to acknowledge Tommy that in her prayer I heard all 5 steps of science of mind, good practitioner work. We hit all of those 5 steps, right? So good work. And George was singing There's Only Love. Our discussion in our Science of Mind, Speaking Science of Mind 101 today, centered around the concept of duality versus the consciousness of unity. And so what I'm experiencing today is there is only love. And Tommy carried through that theme of there is only love. What did she say? Roses are red and violets are blue. I love me and you love you. And so there's spirit right there providing a red rose. Pretty red rose, a little bit pink, but a little bit red. And so there's spirit. Spirit always for me shows up in a trinity. It shows up in the trinity of music. And you know, like to share music, M-U-S-I-C. My underlying source is consciousness. Spirit shows up in prayer. And spirit shows up because we show up in that welcomingness, that openness. And in Science of Mind, we like to say, prayer is not speaking to spirit or speaking to God. Prayer is opening up to hearing spirit, to listening to spirit, to being present with spirit. And spirit invites us to blossom. I know ministry for me has been a process of blossoming, becoming more fully who I am, opening more to who I am. And I think flowers and nature always show us that process of blossoming. Right? From the winter, we can't see that seed that's in there. Remember, my mom always planted daffodils at Long Island, and be beautiful in the summertime, and in the winter you couldn't see them. And sometimes she'd dig up the bulbs, put them in the house, and replant them in the spring, but often she'd leave those bulbs in, and I couldn't see that bulb under the winter snow. But man, sometimes even before the snow left, those daffodils and those tulips came up through that winter snow. So Spirit's there. Spirit's there in everything we see, and everything we do, and everything we be. Sometimes it's in the music, there is only love. Sometimes it's in the prayer, roses are red, violets are blue. I love me, and you love you. And I'll leave that one standing because there are spirits, there's the Trinity. There's the Trinity of a rose reminding us that life is about blossoming and opening to our highest good, to that greater presence of love, and to that unity that is in the duality. And so, in this world of texting and tweeting and twittering, do you often delete your own posts 4 minutes later? I know I do, because I find I'm not the same person I was when I tweeted 4 minutes ago. So do you find yourself retweeting a more loving message, a more kind message, a more blossoming message? Because we are never the person we were a minute ago or a second ago. We're the person that we are in this presence of spirit becoming in the here and now of this moment, this moment, this moment, this moment. You can't hang on to those moments. And we can't hang on to our thoughts. We can hang on to our thoughts. We can loop those thoughts. But the process of healing to revealing is the process of releasing, letting go, and let flow. And so we change our thinking, but we let it go and we let it flow. We don't become static in our thoughts. Those thoughts hold us and trap us. But as we release our thoughts into that flow, new thoughts come in, defined thoughts come in, the presence of spirit drops in. And so I don't know about you, but I know about me. And as I get physically and chronologically older, spiritually younger, but physically and chronologically older, I keep wondering, I don't know if you do, Why the jar manufacturers put those lids on those jars tighter and tighter every year? Why do they do that? Why do they do that? Every year they get tighter and tighter. I know a lot of you know what I'm talking about. And here's something that is a pet peeve of Ross's. And he'll often come and say, "You're not doing your fair share of dusting around this house." Now, I will agree with him. I'm not doing my fair share of dusting, and I don't dust around the house because I tell him, no, you're right, I'm not doing my fair share. But I tell him it's because we come from dust, we return to dust, and the dust I'm removing could be someone I know. Ross is not buying into this. He's not going along with that one. But you know, this is what I'm knowing about science of mind. It's not what I'm knowing about texting or tweeting or twittering or jar lids or dusting around the house. But what I know about science of mind is that it invites us to bring forth profiles in courage. And true profiles in courage for me, are about lighting tomorrow with today. Profiles in courage for me are about lighting tomorrow with today. John Kennedy shared this in his book, Profiles in Courage, which he wrote when he was a senator. He shares this about light tomorrow with today. John Kennedy shares, you don't have to have a college degree. You don't have to make your subject and verb agree. You don't have to know Plato and Aristotle. And you don't have to know Einstein's theories. You only need a heart full of grace and a soul that is generating love. It's not about the degrees on our wall. It's about the degrees of awareness that we're allowing our heart to open to. And we have the physical heart and we have the spiritual heart. It's not about the degrees on our wall. It's about the degrees that we're opening our heart to it all. It's not about our degrees on the wall. It's the degree to which we're opening our heart to it all. Are you radiating love in front of you, love behind you, love to the left of you, right of you, above you, and below you? Can you see your heart as a hologram? Can you see that spiritual heart as holistic? Can you see that spiritual heart as whole, perfect, and complete? Enough in its love to heal any condition of this life plane. Can you feel the radiance of your love being a 360-degree circle of radiant energy? Not just before you, not just behind you, left, right, up, and down. You are that presence of love. You are that radiance of love. You are that profile in courage, and it takes a profile in courage that we each call forth to shine our light, to shine the light of our love today by shining tomorrow's light today that carries over into the light tomorrow. Profiles in courage. By Angelou. Profile in courage. By Angelou says this: love liberates. What does Science of Mind say? Love sets us free. By Angelou, love liberates. Maya Angelou was an absolute profile in courage. And she shares that love liberates, yet she also shares that love only liberates when we take a day away from it all. Angelou shares, love only liberates when we have the profile and courage to say, I need a day away. I'm stepping away. I'm stepping into the light of who I am and that light of love. Maya Angelou shares this about stepping away. Every person needs to take one day. A day in which one consciously separates the past from the future. Jobs, family, employers, and friends can exist one day without any of us. And if our egos permit us to confess, they could exist eternally in our absence. Each person deserves a day away in which no problems are confronted, no solutions are searched for. Each of us needs to withdraw from the cares of this world, which will not withdraw from us. Yeah. Yeah. My brother Kevin was unable to withdraw from the cares of this world. And so he withdrew from caring about life altogether. And eventually, he withdrew from this life plane altogether. And I miss him. Kevin was a profile in courage. He was a profile in courage because he had a heart full of grace and a soul full of love. His treasure on this life plane was his family. His treasure on this life plane were his sons and his daughters and his grandchildren. And with every breath that he was able to draw on this life plane, for as long as he was able to choose to stay here, he surrounded his family in love. They were the most important thing in his life. And yet, going back to Tommy's presencing talk, roses are red, violets are blue, I love me, and you love you. Kevin forgot that step of loving himself. He put so much love out there in the world to his family, to his children, to being a good dad, to being a good provider, that he forgot that elemental step of I love you. Tommy reminded us to love you. Love you. And so, Kevin, I hope where you are, he always had on his bedroom door, since fourth grade, he had his bedroom door scotch taped up. The scotch tape turned yellow after so many years. And on his bedroom door, he had taped, "Gone fishing." Gone fishing. Kevin, I hope where you are, the marlin are flying high, the trout are running wild, and you truly have found a place where you can go fishing. I hope each of you today, during this talk today, during fellowship lunch today, during George's music today, during our power talks today, to see you holding high watch today, I hope today, in this presence of love, that you can find a place just for a second where you can go fishing, whatever that is and whatever that means to you. A hope in the service today. A hope in fellowship lunch, a hope in the seminar today. You can find your own place where you can go fishing today, where you can take a day away. And don't let anyone ever take your days away from you. They have no right. Our next story is not about fishing holes, yet rather it's about digging holes in a field. A man stops at a gas station and he filling his tank. He looks across the road to a field where he sees a man digging holes. Dig holes, digging holes. And he digs one, he digs another one, he digs another one, he digs another one, he digs another one. The man's filling his car, he's going, what is going on? And behind the man digging holes is another man with a backhoe filling in the holes. And the man in front doesn't see the man behind filling in the holes. And so the guy pumps his gas, he goes across the field, he says, I got to find out what's going on. And he asks the first man, why are you digging holes? He said, well, it's my job. I'm a state contractor, and it's my job to dig holes. Well, why is the man behind you filling them in? It's his job, he's a state contractor, to fill in the holes I dig. And the man says, this makes no sense, but if you understand government employment, it makes a lot of sense. I spent 6 months in Washington, D.C. on an intern program with HUD, and it was like, oh, okay, that, it didn't always make sense down there. We didn't get a lot done down there. But and the man says, this makes no sense. And the first man says, you have to understand. There's a second man that's supposed to be here between me and the third man. There's a second man, and he's homesick today. And that second man's job is to plant a tree in the hole I dig. And then the third man covers up the tree roots, right, and puts in the dirt. But he said, since that third man here isn't filling up the hole with the tree, I see no reason not to get paid. So I'm digging holes, he's filling in the holes, because we want to get paid. And so it's not about a fishing hole. But it's about the holes we dig that we rush too much to fill in our lives. Sometimes the holes of hurt in our heart, right? Something shows up in life unexpectedly. And that hole of hurt is so deep and so wide and so broad that we rush to fill up that hole. We rush to fill it up with being busy. We rush to fill it up with watching movies 5 hours in a row. We rush to fill it in with overeating. We rush to fill in that hole of grief and hurt and loss. And I think the lesson, perhaps, the metaphysical lesson, that the payoff here is not about a paycheck or a payday, but the payoff in science of mind is our willingness to be present with the holes in our heart and the holes in our soul that are so empty and so open with loss that we think they will never be filled. And yet, if we don't rush to fill in those holes, if we don't rush to fill in that hurt, if we don't rush to fill in those losses, and if we leave room for our losses, if we leave room to live with the losses, if we leave room to feel the losses, if we leave room to be with the losses, for in science of mind, as we leave room for our losses and we don't rush to fill in those holes, our losses create the room for us to grow. But in the depth of that hole of loss, in the depth of that hole of hurt, in the depth of that hole of depression, the deeper that hole, the greater the opportunity for you to fill in that hole with something loving and bright and warm. And the deeper that hole, the deeper the roots of what you plant in that hole, they will take hold on a soul level, and they will blossom, and they will bloom, and they will bring beauty forth into your life from the darkness of the depth of that hole. But leave that hole open until that hurt goes all the way down to ground level, beyond ground level, to a level you've never known before. And then know that as you plant seeds of awareness, seeds of love, seeds of light, seeds of truth, from the depth of that darkness, from the depth of that hurt, will blossom a life that is more beautiful, more radiant, more present with healing than you have ever known. Unless we take time we need to heal, we will get more of the same pain again and again and again. Unless we take the time we need to heal, we will choose to experience that pain in different ways again and again and again. Our talk theme is Dawn's Early Light. It's the light of knowing that none of us are promised tomorrow. Yet we can light tomorrow We can light tomorrow, no matter how deep that darkness, no matter how dark that darkness, or how far that darkness goes down in the hole we're in. We can light tomorrow right in that hole of darkness we're in by shining our love today. By shining our love where we are today. Shine that light of love in the darkness of your soul. It will become the radiant light of the flame of love in your heart, and it will light the way of this world for so many people. For so many people. We were talking in how to speak science of mind. Mostly speak it from your heart, right? Not from your head. Speak science of mind from your heart. We were talking that Mark Twain shares. If you were in group, you're going to hear this again. This was our conversation, not my conversation. Mark Twain shares that a river is a good metaphor for life. And we were talking about the Potomac River this week. And what metaphor for life did the events that unfolded in Washington in a split second? People who thought they were promised tomorrow were not promised tomorrow. And so how in that split second of the event over the Potomac could we come to see not the duality of our humanity, but the unity of our divinity? How in that event could we find, with that apparent loss of life, that love for ourselves that would expand and open our breaking heart to a greater heart that would encompass the world? And we came at the end of the conversation to say that unity, beyond duality, is our dawn's early light of awareness of being reactive. Isn't it a tragedy? Isn't it awful? So many young people, this shouldn't have happened. Where was God? Where was God? God too busy for 1 second to keep those aircraft from colliding? Was God really too busy for 1 second? And we came to realize beyond that duality, what is ours to do is to light tomorrow's love by the actions we take today. We talked about on 9/11, the people on those aircraft, the last thing they did was go to their cell phones and call home. Those last moments before, let's roll. They called home. Some of them got answering machines. Some of them got their loved ones. Someone's got their young kids. Hi, this is Dad, this is Mom, and I want you to know how much I love you. I want you to know how much I love you. And what we can do in events over the Potomac this week in that 1 second, where is God? God is in you. God is you. God is the love in you as the love in me. We asked in that moment when you first heard, did you go to prayer first? Go to prayer first. Go to prayer first. Always. Always. Go to prayer first. And we came to accept that beyond the reactive state of the duality of our humanity, we could come to a creative state of the unity of our divinity by this week and this day. Texting someone we haven't texted and say, I love you. Picking up the phone, writing a birthday card by hand, sending a handwritten birthday card, I love you. Going out of your way to the neighbor to say, hey, can I take your garbage out today? Hey, I cooked a little extra soup. Can I have that? My mom lived in a condo in Florida, and her last years, she would call and say, are you eating? She said, oh, I'm eating. My God, the neighbors brought over 3 breakfasts and 5 bowls of homemade soup and lasagna for dinner and steak for dinner. And they were, the condo complex, they were knocking on this 97-year-old lady's door. They were feeding her like crazy. She said, I haven't had to buy food in 6 months. Just her fridge was always full. That's what you can do for a neighbor. So you can do for a neighbor. It's what we like to do in our Food for Fellowship. It's really part of our ministry here. Really part of the heart of our ministry. And so dawn's early light is the light of knowing that none of us are promised tomorrow. Yet we can light today and we can light tomorrow with the love that we live today. Reverend Temple Hayes is a profile in courage. She talks her talk, she walks her walk, and she shares her stories of dawn's early light, that dawn's early light of awareness to part the darkness of the hole we're in, of the darkness of the event that seems dark. She shares stories of dawn's early light. Temple shared this week. When she was 14 and her cousin was 17, they went to church, which they did every Sunday. And that Sunday, her cousin turned to her and turned to his family and had been spoken to by Spirit in the way that Spirit spoke to him. How does it speak to you? It always speaks to us through our heart. And he said, I'm going to become a minister. And the way he said it, they knew he was going to become a minister. He had dedicated his life to ministry at age 17. Done deal. That day, her cousin and two of his friends got in the car after Sunday service. They drove down the road, and a mile down the road, a driver ran a red light, and they were killed instantly. They were killed instantly. And she said, coming from her humanity, where was God? Where was God? He couldn't have shifted her cousin's car position by 3 seconds? He couldn't have shifted that other car to slow down? And she wondered at times if she would get over the loss, ever. Not today, but would she ever get over the loss of this blooming and bright spirit? And she came to the dawn's early light of awareness, and that's our talk theme, that the only way to get through loss is to go through the loss. You don't get to go around it. You don't get to go above it or below it. You get to walk through it. You get to walk your talk. You get to pray your prayers. You get to practice your principles. And you get to come from that love of divinity that we are. Part of her journey through the loss of her cousin, which she thought she would never get over, was to write a poem about the loss she felt. And this is the poem she wrote at age 14 on that Sunday afternoon. I have this little hang-up. You see, I'm very open with my heart. I let people know how I feel, really, even before something can start. You see, not long ago, my cousin died. And since that day, my heart has cried. I never told him that I loved him, or did I show I cared. I just treated him any old way. I figured he'd always be there. So when I treat you so special, please try to understand. I believe in loving you now, in case we don't pass this way again. Ernest Holmes shares this about grace. The grace of lighting tomorrow with our love today. The grace of not being reactive. The grace of being creative. And Ernest shares this about grace. Even those who do not habitually say grace would do well to lift their thoughts in thanksgiving. It said if the only prayer you ever said was thank you, it would be enough and more than enough. My father was a profile in courage. And the courage that he profiled was the love for his family. Can you begin to see how Kevin's family was everything to him? Kevin's family was everything to him. And he loved us the best he could. And he loved us the best he could to his last breath. And my mom did too. And my mom said something. I'm not a parent. I'm a step-parent. Ross is a parent. I'm a step-parent. My mom said something I'll never forget. She said, every year, you kids would call, 2 of you were happy and 1 of you was not happy. And my father and I every year would turn and say, 1 year, could all 3 of the kids be happy at the same time? She said, I'm 97 years old. The kids are calling on Mother's Day. 1 of you is unhappy, 2 of you are happy. She said, it always rotates. Nobody was stuck. It always rotated. But she said, I was still being a mom at 97. and sharing with you how much I loved you. She never missed a birthday card. She never missed a birthday call. She never missed calling on Christmas. There was always a Christmas card, sometimes on the 24th, but it was always there. It was always there. Once a parent, always a parent. Once a parent, always a parent. That was my parents' it's the way they lived their life. It's the way they lived their life. My father used to say when there were family disagreements, oh, we had them. My list is far longer than your list of parental disagreements with a teenager. I win. I win. But he would always say, it's better to build a longer table, Michael, than to build a higher fence. Build a longer table that we can sit around. Build a longer table that we can invite a neighbor around. Build a longer table that we can invite some from the spiritual community around. Build a longer table. Don't build a higher wall of separation. Build a longer table of unity. Don't build a higher wall of duality. And so, I've sung this before, and I'll sing it again. We always used to say, right? Lift your thoughts in Thanksgiving, and this is the prayer we always prayed. Be present at our table, Lord. Be here and everywhere adored. Thy people bless and grant that we may live in harmony with thee. Build a longer table, not a higher wall. Go to prayer first. Be creative, not reactive. Come from unity, not duality. It said when the winds of change blow, we have the opportunity to build windmills and not walls. I do my best to build windmills and to let Spirit do the rest. And I'm coming to know, as did Alice in Wonderland, that the secret to lighting tomorrow with love's light today, the secret, dear Alice, is to surround yourself with people who make your heart smile. It is then, and only then, will you be in Wonderland. The secret, dear Alice, is to surround yourself with people who make your heart smile. It is only then, dear Alice, you will be in Wonderland. Love's light today is our Science of Mind principle. Love's light today. His name in the red shirt is a gentleman, and his name is Lee. And the gentleman feeding Lee, his name is Five. And Five is a profile in courage. Five is a profile in courage. He goes by the name Five, and that's what everyone knows him by. Well, Five is a waiter at the 42nd Street Oyster Bar in Raleigh, North Carolina. It's one of the two jobs he works when he's not taking classes at the local college. He's a humble guy. He doesn't like attention, but sometimes when he does what he does, just does what he does, right? Roses are red, violets are blue. I love me, you love you. But sometimes when he does what he does, attention can't really be avoided. One day, Lee and his mom, Linda, came to the oyster bar, and Linda started feeding her son, Lee, who has cerebral palsy. And even though Five was busy with other customers and other tables, he didn't want Linda's meal to get cold, so he asked some other workers to cover for him. Well, he took over the feeding chore from Linda so she could enjoy her meal while it was hot. Linda took some photos of Five feeding Lee, and it got a lot of attention on social media. And now many people recognize him when he's out and about. And he's received letters from all over the world. He's received letters from all over the world, and it's all been a little overwhelming for the shy, humble guy who tries to avoid the spotlight. But as you can see, doing kind deeds doesn't always go unnoticed. Love's light today. What light of love are you going to shine today that will light up tomorrow? What light of love are you going to shine today that will light up the Potomac with a love beyond duality, into a unity of reaching out to someone you know, making that phone call and saying, I love you. I just wanted to let you know I love you. Is it James Taylor? Just yesterday morning, they let me know you were gone. Sweet dreams and flying machines and pieces on the ground. Sometimes it feels like our life is falling apart like those flying machines over the Potomac. But no, when those pieces fall to the ground, that every piece is part of your whole. And when you know that the ground they're falling upon is the ground that love stands on, is the ground of grace, is the ground of the giftedness of knowing that wherever we stand and wherever we fall, we're growing tall in that blossoming, blooming light of love that we are. There's not a spot where God's not. There's not a spot of your broken pieces that God's not. And there's that Japanese art, and I can't think of the name of it, where pottery is broken and they put it back together, usually with gold glitter, and it's even more beautiful. The pieces are even more beautiful than the original piece of art. When your pieces fall apart and you get it together with your heart, when your pieces fall apart and you put them back together with the gold that's in your heart, your life is going to be more beautiful than anything you've ever imagined. And so we'll end today's talk with a poem, Light Tomorrow with Today. And I invite us, for those people over the Potomac Wednesday and for their families and for their loved ones, for us to light their tomorrow with our love today. For those of us who are grieving the loss of a loved one, that we didn't reach out with that call, we didn't send that birthday card, I invite us today on this poem to light tomorrow for them with the love we shine here today. Tomorrow never comes, and we all know this is true. For once we get to tomorrow, tomorrow's no longer in view. We can only live each day one at a single time. Being in the present moment, we are living at our prime. Live each day in love and joy, focused from your heart, and see them return to you in abundance, if only you will start. The law of attraction brings to you everything you think and feel. So now is the only time to be happy as you create the you that is real. It's a short quote in simple words, but with so much wisdom to convey. To live your life achieving your dreams, like tomorrow with today. Light tomorrow with today. Light tomorrow with today. Today's affirmation. I will read it first, then I invite call and response, and we'll read it together. Think of someone you're loving. That in some yesterday morning they let you know that person was gone. Think of someone you always thought you'd see again, but you won't. And think of someone you'd like to be able to say just one more time. Roses are red, violets are blue. I love me. I hope you love you. Today's affirmation. I light my tomorrow with the love I live today. And together, I light my tomorrow with the love I live today. And second time, I light my tomorrow with the love I live today. And one more time for good measure, I light my tomorrow with the love I live today. If no one today has told you that they love you, CSL does our best. Sometimes we can do better, but we almost always do our best. And if you haven't told yourself today that you love you, why haven't you? Why haven't you? Stay conscious. Namaste. And so ends our talk, and we'll take this talk into prayer. And to take this talk into prayer for all the people that at times we say we appreciate. They teach you in ministry to say you appreciate them, because people take I love you the wrong way. But in lighting tomorrow with today's love, I really want to say to Chuck and to Darcel, who have stepped into our tech booth, and to Adrian, who's stepped away but is mentoring all of us, including myself, I love you. I love your spirit. I love your energy. I love your presence. I love your willingness. I love your laughter and your light and your willingness to move through what we all need to move through together. To our ministerial support team, to our ecclesiastical team. Gosh, I can't remember everybody, but to Steve and to Yvonne and to Adrian and to myself and to Reverend Neil. Did I miss anybody on the ecclesiastical team? Tommy. Tommy on the ecclesiastical team. Gosh, I love you. Don't take it the wrong way. But in case I don't get to see you tomorrow, I love you today. And to our board of directors, we don't always agree. We don't always agree. But we do hold the high consciousness of what's best for CSL. What's best for CSL Beaumont. And we do our best to lovingly embrace this center. And we're working on lovingly embracing ourselves. We have work to do, but we're doing it. We're doing it, right? We're doing it. We're moving from the duality to the unity. And sometimes the duality is the gift that brings us to unity. So God bless duality. And this prayer, let's take this prayer into knowing that in the duality is the reality of our divinity. And as we move from the duality of our worldly conditions into the divinity of that wonder that Alice talks about by surrounding us with people who make our hearts smile, we become the light of love that goes on for miles and miles and miles to the Potomac, past the Potomac, beyond all the conditions of the world, into this consciousness of CSL, of a world that works for everyone. And we call forth a world that works for everyone by lighting tomorrow with our love today. And so it's our time of conscious giving. And I invite the ushers to come forward now as we read our giving statement. And yeah, George, if you would like to play
I've
something
got
on this,
something
you're
for you.
more than welcome to. The guys have something queued up in the sound booth ready for you. You just go for this and we'll go with this. We're saying yes today. George was not supposed to be playing music here today. He was here to do our seminar. And he called Friday and said, oh, how about I do some singing for you guys? And I said, how about you do some singing for you guys? So when Spirit calls, say yes. Say yes. And so if something made your heart smile today, right, Alice in Wonderland, surround yourself with people who make your heart smile. If in some way your heart smiled today, in the way that it hasn't smiled before, we invite you to bring that light of consciousness, that light of love, and that light of liberty with you as you tithe to the center today. Know that we're spreading that light, we're spreading that love beyond the Potomac, and just our consciousness here. We'll take it beyond the walls today, we'll take it in our cars, we'll take it home, and we'll write somebody a letter that we haven't said I love to you for a long time. We'll make that phone call. That's the light of love we're carrying forward. And to carry that light of love forward and to bring our programs and our seminars and building our music team, we invite you and to read this with me together. I give and receive freely and generously with an open heart and an open mind. The universe responds to me in kind. I know that my beloved community is richly blessed, and so it is.
And you can sing along with me if you know this one. Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, 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 I'm so grateful.
And so in gratitude, we circle up now in the sanctuary. If you're new here, we circle up. We hold hands if you're comfortable. If you want to remain seated, join us in consciousness. You're more than welcome. But we circle up. We surround this sanctuary in love, and we sing our way out. And George is going to play the peace song for us. So. And so the peace that begins with me, and we'll leave this simple, very simple today in Tommy's words, Practitioner Tommy, then I'm invited to become Minister Tommy, but we're working on that one. Roses are red, violets are blue, I love me, and you love you. And so it is. Full lunch in Carter Hall, practitioner prayer work over here with our practitioners and ministers if you choose. George's seminar after lunch at noon. Healing is revealing, so don't miss this opportunity to be here today and support George. And can we give George another round of applause for impromptu music? Good job. Thank you. Carter Hall lunch. Prayer work over here.